And a very good evening to all my viewers out there. This is video number 15 of my 2019 flood coverage. It is right now Wednesday, April the 24th, 2019. It's 6:44 p.m. and tonight we're in Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue. This is the western tip of Montreal. Just, I guess you could say, to the southwest of Pierrefonds. And over there, of course, is a beautiful river, which, as you can see, is getting higher and higher. And that rain that we had last night now is starting to show its effects. At one point, look at this, there's some debris that was here. Now look how high that water is, right up to that boardwalk there. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to walk around St. Anne's. We're going to go further north. We're going to see the residential area, which is right here. But I just wanted to show you first, look at this. Very similar to what we saw in Pierrefonds last night with those pumps. They have one working here as well. You can see they're diverting the water right into the river here. So we're going to walk around, see what we could see. And again, this is Sainte-Anne Boulevard, or Sainte-Anne Street. Look how high this water is. It's incredible. So just to update you, first of all, it's going to get a bit noisy here, so I'll continue talking in a moment. So as you can see, they're doing different strategies here as well. Just like in Pierrefonds, probably trying to redirect the flow of the water. Obviously trying different strategies out depending on different things, probably depending on where the water is at any given time in the actual sewer system. But we're going to see in a moment as we make our way down here, more residential area. And you can see we're coming up once again to more flooding here. So this is very similar to what happened in 2017 when the street in different places on the street flooded at different levels. So it was bad down there, and you can see it's bad here as well. And we're going to come up to the park here, and we're going to see what the water level's like at the park down the street here. Now look at this. This is obviously a pump that's connected to this house here. Probably their basement's flooded because it's coming right up through the sewer system. So we're going to walk around here. I got to find a way across the street here. I see there's a little pallet here that they made into a little bridge, and we're going to go down here and cross. Now I'm going to try to find my video from 2017 when this street was flooded, just so you can compare, which I've been trying to do, by the way. If you've been watching any of my videos, I tend to put some links on the bottom of each one to previous videos from 2017, just so you can compare what this flood is like compared to then. Now that it's a little bit more quiet, I'm going to update you on the situation. So last night we had some rainfall. I think it was about 10 millimeters or so. And what ended up happening is throughout the course of the day, the water levels went up slowly. And that's why we're having this flooding going on here at a much higher level than we previously saw. Now, the main thing to understand, as I've been mentioning, is the long-term forecast. Apparently this Friday we're going to be getting 25 millimeters of rain, which is 2 days from now, which will definitely have an effect on the water levels. And as with all weather, it's hard to predict the long term, even the medium term, what's going to happen. As far as we know, we can have a nice weekend, and then they're going to forecast suddenly on Monday a new system moving in for the middle of next week. Now this is an interesting thing that's going on here. This sewer right here, if you can take a look, it's actually taking in water. Look at this. The water is going into the sewer. And this sewer here, it's actually coming out. And that's the thing when it comes to water and it comes to sewage. It's a very complicated thing depending on where the water is. And that's why they have to figure out with the pumps where to put them. And there's strategy, there's science behind it all. So we're going to make our way down here where apparently there's some buildings that are getting flooded, and we'll walk down here and I'll film as I walk. And this here is probably coming from a basement. So you can see the water hasn't come to this point yet, but it is making its way slowly higher and higher, which means it's affecting more and more buildings. Looks like they got another pump down here, a blue one, that they're probably going to be setting up soon, I imagine. And like I said, this here, I showed this in my previous video when I was here. They've covered up this manhole because they probably want to protect the infrastructure that's in there. Here's an old style pump. I mean, this one compared to the ones we saw in Pierrefonds, much more old school, much more, I guess you can say, maybe from the 80s, 90s, compared to the ones we saw in Pierrefonds, which were state of the art. And by the way, here's our municipal building, our public works building. So let's go to the park here, Parc Gaudin, because we're going to go here and then we're going to make our way into some streets, some side streets, where the water is actually starting to flood some buildings. But let's take a look here. And if you remember in my last video, this park, we were able to go onto that little boardwalk there. Look at that, you can't do that now. Completely flooded over. And that is part of Lac St. Louis in front of us. So remember, when I'm doing these videos, you can always go back and compare the water levels from previous ones. But this is a very good representation of how high the water level is right now. And if you remember when I was doing my videos a few weeks ago, I was saying, watch the water level when I was down there. Let's try to take a look actually, if it's not too muddy. Because there was a little thermometer there. Not a thermometer, measuring stick that was on the side of the wall. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not. Could be completely submerged. But as I said in my previous video, I was definitely able to come to this area without any problems. But now look at it. And we're going to be going down there, by the way, because that's where apparently a lot of the buildings are being affected. But look at this. Can't even see the measuring stick. I think it was over here somewhere if I remember. So this whole area is completely submerged. And even though they put some sandbags up here, obviously they weren't really effective, which is what I was saying. But you got to try everything in this kind of situation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video now and I'll resume recording once I get to the residential street that I wanted to film, and we'll see what's happening there. By the way, all this wood here is obviously debris that's been washed up from the river. All this could have come from Ottawa, could have come from Gatineau, who knows. Looks like there's some kind of an animal swimming under the water there. Maybe it's a beaver or something, who knows. Oh no, actually, my eyes are playing tricks on me. That's actually a hose. That's probably pumping water out. It's just moving around right now. Yeah, you could see. So we're gonna make our way down here, see what we can see in this sector. And you can see the water's coming up to here. Try to zoom out. So these houses are at risk, and you can see as well, look at this. Looks like somebody made a primitive style pump, which is probably working for them. But right here, this is where the danger is. But these sandbags seem to be holding out the water pretty well. Just to show you. Let's take a walk down the street, see what we could see. Okay, so we're more inland now, and apparently this was one of the streets that was supposedly flooded, but I don't see really anything going on here. So I think It's just the back part that we were just looking at. That's the part that was flooded. So there's really not much to see here. So I'm going to head back to where we were and get a different angle of the flooding. And I may actually go onto the bridge after, the bridge that connects St. Anne's to Yopero, and maybe see what's happening there, just to give you a different angle. Okay, so we're back to where I was before. So like I said, really not much to see on that street. It was Sainte-Anne Street, by the way, that apparently they were saying there could have been some flooding. I just checked, nothing there. And by the way, in 2017, when we had the peak of that flood, this whole area where I'm standing right now was flooded. These benches were completely submerged. Water was well up to this tree here. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's very early in the flood season, and the next few weeks are going to be very, very critical in terms of what happens. And it's all up to Mother Nature. So I'm going to wrap her up here, and I'm going to try to get some more video tonight, maybe head to Pierrefonds. I want to head to where Cap Saint-Jacques Nature Park is, but unfortunately all the roads are blocked off because apparently there's some pretty nice flooding there. But I'm going to definitely get some more video tonight and keep you all updated. Alright, more videos to come. Have a good day all.